Well, welcome you folks. We're delighted to have you with us today. This is Juneteenth. It's the 19th of June of 2024. And in Utah, the holiday was Monday, not today, but it's a federal holiday in other states. Our host, I'm Don Snow. I'm in Provo, Utah. Our host today is Gerhard Roof, as he's our president of our Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group. Gerhard is up in Washington, in Yakima, Washington, right now. He's conducting this, hosting it from up there, and we'll get started here in just a second. We're delighted to welcome you folks here with us, and this is being recorded, and it will be on YouTube, on our YouTube channel here later. By the time Gerhard gets it taken care of in the next couple of days, as well as on Facebook. So we welcome you. The subject for today is little known tips and tricks for Windows. You may know some of these tips and tricks, but most of them, I've only got three or four because it's only a half an hour program, and so there's enough time for you to try this out afterwards. But these are things that have been a major help to me and that I did not know about until sometime recently. These are some of the tips and tricks. I'll show you the notes here. All the notes are online, and they're available on my website. And they'll be there even if you're watching this 6 months from now. The notes will still be back there. These are the tips and tricks that we're going to talk about. The Windows operating system. Now, there are three major operating systems that are in use in computers today. There's probably more than that, but the three are Windows is the big one. Apple has iOS. OS is operating system, and the I is the Apple thing, and Linux is the other one. Linux. That's a one that is private. Well, not private. It's public, but it's available at no charge. Windows, of course, you have to pay for. That's by Microsoft, and that's the one that we're talking about today. The other operating systems probably have something similar that will work doing some of the same sorts of tricks that we're going to be doing today. The first thing we're going to talk about is clipboard. The clipboard in Windows, and we'll show demos of this here in a minute. This is just leading in now, and I'll show you the notes in a minute. The clipboard is defaults in Windows to just holding one item, but there's a way you can turn on save many items. And you'll see a list here in a few minutes of 30 or 40 items that are on my clipboard now on my Windows. The next thing we'll look at is desktop icons. If you go to form desktop icons, it's easy to do, but I didn't realize until I experimented with it after a while, you can get your credentials in there as well, so you don't have to type your password in every time. For example, if you want to log into Family Search with your password already in there, there's a way you can set up the icon so that it'll have that in there, and we'll demonstrate that here in a minute. Then selecting several items. This one is probably people know this, and so that this may be a review for some of you, but there are different tricks that you can use with it. And then the final thing I want to talk about is the fact that Windows 10, that's what I'm using, is Windows 10. After October, I think it's October 25th of next year, 2025, will no longer be supported by Microsoft. Now, what that means is it will still run, but they won't be updating it. And that has some remarkable implications. Here's where the class notes are stored on that website. And it's our UVTAGG, Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group page. And then it's classes, Dawn's, and then Dawn's hyphen classes .html. And all my notes are there for all my past classes. There's 300 or 400 of them on there from going back for the last 20 or 30 years. The notes are on there, links are on there, where to watch some of the older programs are on there, etc. Now, the demos that we're going to be looking at are these things that we just talked about. But before we actually look at the demos, I want to go back and show you what the notes look like. So if you type in that URL that we had a minute ago, I'll do an Alt Tab here, Alt Tab, and get to where my notes are stored. Is this them? Yeah, these are my notes. Uh, yeah, I have to use a magnifier because my eyesight is so poor, but the magnifier is turned off now. So what you're seeing is what you'll get if you log on to that website. Here's the website. There's a bunch of sub pages on here with other stuff in here, and then here's classes coming up. And the one that we're dealing with today is this one on June 19th. And if you click right on that, notice it's underlined. If you click on that, it will take you to the notes. Now, there's the next couple of classes that we're going to be having in the next couple of months as well. Now, I've already opened that, so let me see if I can get to, if I just click on, well, let me click, let me get to it from clicking on here. I can hardly see that there. Okay. Here's the notes for today's class, little known Windows tips and tricks. And there's an abstract about the what we're dealing with today, the details of it. There's the welcome, and there's my email address. If you're watching this later and you want to email me for a question, I'll be glad to try and answer it later on. And then the subject, the problem for today is what are some of these little known tips and tricks? And there are probably lots of others. And if you guys have some tips and tricks that work for you that are not well known, let me know because they'd be worthwhile or knowing later on. Here's the first one is this Windows clipboard thing. We'll go through that here in just a minute, and I'll let you demonstrate that. The next thing down here is these icons for websites that already have your credentials in them, like for Family Search. And then there's the selecting several items from a list, ways to do that, and then the information about the Windows 10 becoming unsupported. It'll still work, but it's unsupported, so they're not going to correct it, not going to fix the bugs and the errors and all the virus things and so on that they come up with later on. Let's talk about this, the top one on the Windows clipboard. Most of you are aware that the Windows clipboard, if you want to highlight something and then you press let's say it's a Control C copies it, and Control V pastes it in where your cursor is. And each time you copy it, that's the default in Windows. And as you copy something new on the clipboard, it wipes out the old thing. Now, what we discovered just a few months ago was that you can put multiple items on that clipboard if you enable clipboard history first. Now, to do that, to enable clipboard history, the simplest way I've found is to go down to the bottom thing. The screen on Windows 10 is to the left, and Windows 11 it's closer to the center, and type in clipboard down there, and that will take you to. It'll open up the information on clipboard. Go to clipboard settings, and once you get to clipboard settings, you'll see a thing in there that says enable multiple items, something like that. I've forgotten the exact words. And I tried on here, but I can't see without my magnifier on here to actually show you what it is. But in the Windows settings, there's one of the options is turn on the clipboard history. Now it defaults to having that turned off. And so I thought for all these years in Windows 7 and 10 and so on, that you could, only one way to save, one thing could be saved at a time. I want to show you now what will happen. Now, once you do that, once you turn that on, then everything you save by a Control V and so on is saved on the clipboard in a line. To see all those, instead of holding down the Control and hitting V to paste it in, that still works. But if you hold down the Windows key, I'm holding down the Windows key and now I'm pressing V. Look what happens. There's all the stuff. And if I scroll down in, I can't really read that. Maybe you can, but whoops, I turned it off. Uh, Windows V. I'm going to have to turn the magnifier back on so I can see what you're seeing. You can probably see it okay. Uh, this should, well, that didn't turn the magnifier on. Why didn't it? Windows plus. There it is. Okay, now here's all the stuff. There's some stuff I copied just recently. And as you scroll down, look at all this stuff. This is all on the clipboard. I think from what I observe, it saves everything until the last time you turned on your computer. There must be 30 or 40 items on here. And whichever one you want to paste in, you just find that one and then hit left click on that and it will paste that one in to where you are. Now, the problem I found now is once I get these in here, if I've made minor changes and things, I can't tell which is the latest. Well, the latest version is at the top. So I guess that's the latest version. But if I have, like if I'm copying dates from Family Search and I've got a marriage date and a kid's birth date or something, I can't remember which is which because you see two dates in there, but you don't know which one is which. So there may be a way to get rid of them. I got thinking of this afternoon. I wonder what would happen if I right click on this. Nothing. I thought maybe there's a way I could get rid of that. I wonder if delete deletes it because I haven't tried that. This is all new. I haven't tried that. I'm going to hit delete. No. So I don't know how you can turn them off except turn your computer off, and then when you turn it back on, all these are gone and it starts over again. Anyway, I found that has been a major help. Now we turn the magnifier off now for you folks to see it. A major help in saving keystrokes and finding what's going on with stuff. And you can save whole pages of things on there and then paste them in and they're there on the clipboard and they stay there until you turn your computer off and back on again. That may save you. That one tip alone may be a good one for you. Any comments or questions on that one?
Yes. Does anybody know if there's something similar for Apple?
I don't know. That I don't know. For Mac, yeah, my guess is there is. And
Don?
but yeah,
I don't think there is, but I just tried it myself. There is a way to delete individual items from that stack.
How?
In each one, you probably didn't see it because of your eyesight. There are 3 dots in the upper right corner. If you click on the 3 dots, one of the options is to delete. It's not clear to me what the other option is, but it's something to play with.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good because I wonder because I get so much stuff on there, more than I really want to keep. But okay, good, wonderful. Well, we've all learned something then from that one. Thanks. All right, the next item on here is these icons for websites. Let me go back to, let's see, I guess I'm still in. I'm going to have to turn the magnifier back on, plus. Well, there it is. Okay, now now I'm in Chrome. That's the browser I use, and Edge probably works somewhat similar. You can probably do this. I guess we can do it with any program. Now, if you want to go to Family Search, for example, you click on the Family Search or you type in familysearch.org, and then it says, okay, what's your username and what's your password, and so on. And you have to remember it each time and so on. Now, what I discovered is that once you're logged into that with your password, you can then set up an icon without having to do the re-entry again. Now look, this is what I've got here where it says 0FH. That's a folder that's got my bookmarks in it for family history. So I've got one down here that's labeled Family Search-DRS. That's my initials. Watch what happens if I click on it. it'll take me to Family Search. It'll open Family Search. And here comes, well, hopefully this is Family Search. Yeah, there's Family Search. And look at up here. I'm already logged in. It's got my name up there because because I formed that icon after I had logged in. If you form it before you log in, then you have to go back and log in every time you have to type in things. Now, the simple way to form that icon is to go up here to where the browser, there's the address bar in the browser. That long thing is all the things. Right here in front of it, there's an icon. You see that thing right there. You just click on that icon and drag that. I'm clicking and dragging it all the way over, and I won't drop it over there because that's other stuff that I don't want to get into. But you can drop it down here on your I'll drop it down here on family history again in the same icon, the same thing. Okay, there's another one that should be in there. If I go back to, let me turn off the magnifier. It's annoying for you folks that can see well. Now I can't see it. Well, there's okay. Now I put that new one in someplace up there. That's probably the top one. And then you can edit those by right clicking. You can edit and shorten it so it doesn't take up so much space on your taskbar or on your desktop, either one. But that saves me trying to remember that password and all that stuff every time to get an icon on there. It's a very simple way. It'll work with any website, and I'm not sure that all websites will take your credentials that same way, but it's worth a try. I found that several do, and you can always just drag that icon from in front for any website, drag it over onto your desktop or down to your taskbar and or your bookmarks bar, and you'll have a link for to get easily to that website. All right, that's the second item. Let's see where we're. Go back to my notes. Let's see if I can get out of this thing. Let's see, Alt Tab. No, where's the tab? There's the tab. And back here to, that's the demos. Let's see, where's the, no, I guess it's in here. Okay, so let me go back to see if I can find the notes up here. Well, I've got one, Dawn's classes should be up there. So is that Dawn's? There's Dawn's classes, yeah. Okay. And now if I scroll down here, classes coming up, I can get back into our notes for today. That should be it. Here we go. Okay, good. All right, that takes care of the first couple of them. Now that's the Windows clipboard then, and the icons for websites. Okay, the next is down here is selecting more than one item. Now, most of you are aware that if you've got a list of items, whether they're files or photographs or folder or anything else, that by holding down the Control key while you click, it keeps all of them highlighted, so that you can then copy them or move them or delete them or whatever else you need to do, edit them and all that sort of thing. But what is not quite so well known is that if you click at the top of the list, let's see if I can see if there's a something. Let me get let's see, Windows D will get me back to the. Here we go. Now, someplace I've got. I'm looking for Windows Explorer. I was just going to open up. I should have done that first. Windows E will open up Explorer. Okay, where are you, Windows Explorer? There you are. Okay, now here's a bunch of files, or these are recent folders, recent files or something. Okay, if you click on, see that one highlights. Now, if I'm holding down the Control key while I'm clicking the next one, whoops, there I'm holding down the Control key and I'm clicking a few of them. But now if you want to highlight everything in between two of them, you can click on the top one. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's click on the top one to highlight that one, and then hold down the control key while you click on the bottom one. No, not the control key, the shift key. That just let me start over here. Come on. Click up there. Okay, now I hold down the shift key while I click on the bottom one. And they're all highlighted. And that works in reverse too. You can click on the bottom one and then click on the top one. Bottom one and then on the top one. Shift key, and that works. So you probably are aware of being able to copy more or to highlight more by just holding down the control key, but the shift key will get everything in between the two that you click, and then you can edit them or move them or whatever else you need to do with them. Now, how am I going to get out of this thing because I can't see what I'm doing? Windows Plus will make it bigger, and I can get up here to where's there's an X. Click on that X and hope I got the right X. I can't really tell. Yeah. All right. Now let me go back to.
You got the right one, Don.
Did I? Okay. Then now an Alt Tab should get me back to where's the Tab key? There's Tab. Okay, back here's the notes. Well, now let me get the magnifier off. Okay, and then okay, that's that one. Now this last one is about the Windows 10. Microsoft has announced that for Windows 10, after next year in October, I think it's the 25th of October, if I remember the date correctly, they will no longer support the Windows 10. Now, what that means is that Windows 10 will still run, it'll still work, but they won't be correcting any bugs. They won't be fixing any virus things that people have discovered that are ways that they can introduce malware into your system or anything else. And so you may need to upgrade your system. Now, when I checked my computer, this computer that you're seeing right now, I've had this is a 7-year-old computer. It is not strong enough to upgrade to Windows 11. So I'm going to have to, before next year, I'm going to have to change over. I actually have already bought a new computer, and my kids are helping me get it set up, but I haven't dared switch over yet because a couple of the programs I want to use won't run on it. And so, but there are other ways to do it. But just keep in mind that you may have to upgrade your system, which is what I'm having to do, because this computer just is not strong enough to run Windows 11. And Windows 10 will then have all these problems that the hackers can get into. Hackers are delighted when they hear that Windows isn't supported anymore, like Windows 7 is no longer supported. Because in Windows 7 they can get into and hack the stuff.
Smart.
Is that a comment? Somebody asking a question or something?
Apparently this is
No.
Oh, okay. So the hackers like this one because many people that are using Windows 7 now, there's no way if they come up with a way to get into it, there's no way Microsoft is fixing it. And so it's a problem on there. Okay, now that's the few things that I wanted to talk about today. Down in the conclusions here, well, let me go back to the PowerPoint because that's got a summary of it. Let me see, Windows 10, and is that it? No, that isn't the one. Which one is it? Is it that one? Well, I'll hit F5 again and see if we can get going. There's F5. I got to click at the top before that F5 works. F5. Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. Well, let me. It's probably this one. Yeah, there we go. Here's a summary of the stuff that we've looked at. Uh, you may have known some of these, but you may not have known some of them. The clipboard holding many items is probably the most important one on here because that will help in lots of different situations for you. The icons with credentials, that saves me time when I go to Family Search or other programs because then I don't have to type in my passwords every time, and I've got it click and it goes right in. And it says, do you want to enter with this one? And it's got the password already in there. And you click sign in. Yeah. The selecting several items, most of us use that all the time, selecting different items and selecting groups. And I use that just on a regular basis, so usually several times a day. And because of the Windows 10 not being supported, I'm having to upgrade a computer and get a new one, which I did. Years ago, probably 20 or 30 years ago, I remember reading a little poem. I bought a new computer. It came completely loaded. It was guaranteed for 90 days, but in 60 was outmoded. And I think that's what happens today with stuff too. Anyway, there's some conclusions there of things that may be a help to you. Are there any questions or comments that any of you have? And I've tried to leave enough time so that in a half an hour you can go spend some time trying some of these things out.
My only comment is I appreciate you putting these little seminars on. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is
Thank you.
Quilden from Idaho.
Oh, you're up in Idaho.
Yeah.
Well, you're when you headed back down to St. George, not till fall, huh?
Probably not till 2025, January.
Oh, you want to go back down there till January? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Gerhard Roof is up there in Washington, and he's going to be going through. Well, he'll be going down. You're in Blackfoot or near Blackfoot.
Yep.
He's going down through, I suppose, through Pocatello, aren't you, Gerhard? On your way back?
Not that far. We'll go through Boise and head south through Tree Mountain.
Oh, okay.
He'll follow 84, Interstate
Yeah.
84. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it something that Gerhard can host these things on the road from the middle of nowhere up there, where he can, as long as you get to the internet, and host the things, and he won't be back here to Utah, to Orem, to his home, he and Dion, until probably another day or two. Anyway, any other questions or comments anybody has?
There aren't any comments or questions on Facebook, Don, but we had someone say they were watching from Iowa.
Oh, good. Good. Well, Iowa's had problems with tornadoes, so we're glad to have you there. I sometimes ask for where you're from if you're watching on Facebook or Zoom or otherwise to see where you're coming from. But anyway, we're glad to have you with us. Well, that's the extent of our discussion.
I was going to say I enjoyed the tip on being able to select, from the list. I noticed as I was doing it, it also mentioned that you can select to do this between Windows devices. And I don't have a Windows phone. Mine
Really?
is an iPhone and that, but I wish I could do this from my phone over to my computer so often.
Really?
Yeah, but if you have an Android phone, I think that would work, is to be able to select something from your Android phone and then paste it. So that's what it looked like. I was curious
Really?
about that. Yeah.
Boy, and
So-
okay, where did you find that, Marilyn?
So it's when I was signing up,
Uh-huh.
when you said to go into the settings and
Yeah,
then it had a
right.
list of possible settings. One of the settings was to allow that clipboard to be shared between your Windows devices.
Boy, that's something I didn't know. That's wow, because I do
Yeah.
use an Android. I use an iPad as well as an Android tablet.
Okay.
So the
So your
Android tab.
Android tablet would work, but your iPad would not.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah,
Well, that
yeah,
is something. We're learning more things. Thank
yeah,
you,
we
thank you,
are.
thank you.
We are. Yeah. So my next question is, I was at the family search library the other day, and of course I'm trying to paste into a spreadsheet on my laptop. And I thought, I wonder if there's a way to sign in another computer into my Windows account and have it save the password where there. So anyway, too many
Uh,
ideas.
yeah, I don't know the answer to that one. There may be.
Yeah.
There could be.
So, because I
There.
know, yeah.
One
Is
There's
of
it?
the Maryland, one of the cool things that's like that with your
Yeah.
browser
Oh,
is
yeah.
if you log into your browser on any other device,
Okay.
whether it's Android or all your bookmarks are there.
Oh,
And you
wow.
can save all the bookmarks there. If you make a change while you're in that browser, it's reflected in the other browsers.
So the Windows browser then would be Bing, right? So if I
Well,
sign in,
no,
I don't
I
use
use Chrome.
Bing, I'm using Chrome, and Chrome does
yeah,
that.
and then
I
and
assume that the others do too.
right. So I understand about logging into Chrome, but Chrome is a Google. It's not Windows. So I'm
I
just
know.
wondering if I
Well, yeah.
logged into my Bing browser, if
I would
uh,
expect it to work in Opera and Bing and Edge, Firefox. I would expect
right.
that to be the same in all the browsers.
So
Yeah,
I know my poor husband was working on Family Search and couldn't see something that I could see, and it was because he was on a Bing browser and I was on a Chrome browser. So there's always that little glitch
yeah,
for a Family Search that sometimes things will actually work in Bing that's not working in Chrome, but usually
yeah.
it's the other
You're
way.
saying Bing, but you're meaning Edge, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it changed.
Yeah.
Yes, you're
Well,
right. You
well,
caught me
Bing
again.
is the search. Bing is the search, but Edge is the browser.
Edge is the browser.
Right.
Okay.
Normally in the family search centers, if things aren't quite working quite well, they'll recommend going to Chrome as the browser because it seems
Yeah.
that family search works better with Chrome than
With
some of
Chrome.
the other. Yeah.
Just every now and then, sometimes the Chrome hasn't, yeah, that the other one will work. Yeah. But
Yeah,
usually,
but I've noticed that on Edge, all my bookmarks from Chrome are on there too.
that's true. You have to give them
So
permission, but
yeah,
yeah.
because it'll say, "Do you want to copy them over?" And yep, and so they're there. Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
But if you do that twice, they're not updated, and you have duplicate copies of all your bookmarks. So
Oh,
Oh
okay.
gosh,
update doesn't work. You do that once, and then when you want to change browsers permanently. Otherwise, you do it a second time to update, and it'll create a whole new set of bookmarks, which
Oh
are
dear.
duplicates of
oh
the ones
gosh.
you already have.
Oh, and then you got to go through and delete them all. Oh golly.
Yeah, yeah. With as many bookmarks as you and I have, you don't want to do that.
No, I know. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, that's my phone ringing.
My wife uses for her computer
I'm not gonna
Windows
answer it.
11, and
Yeah.
we kind of stay away from Edge and Bing and whatnot because it seems like every time we want to use one of those things, it wants to take over the computer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a problem. You do have to every time they set up Windows so that it defaults to using Edge as the browser, and you have to say no, not the don't use that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we appreciate all you people being with us today, and hope that you've gained something, and appreciate you listening.
Okay. Have a great day.
All right. We'll see y'all next month.
All right.